George Carlin recommended you for Oprah.
The best thing is at the beginning of it, he said, "Hi, this is George Carlin. First, let me say there's nothing I can do for your career."
I opened for Lionel Richie at the Greek Theater. They say you can't look at Lionel. And I still got show adrenaline going. And I see Lionel. And he walks by. And just out of instinct, comic instinct, I just looked in his direction and I just said, "Hello." And they said, "No, you can't talk to him. No."
I used to be devastated by a bad set. Not really be able to feel good about myself until I had a good set. And in my early days, that could be months. So it was just.
The night you're there, I walked around the front and there's a guy scalping tickets and I hug him. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Lionel can't take it.
Looking forward to that.
You say, could you use someone else's name when doing my please?
Hey, Rodney, we're back. If you tuned in earlier, we had a little glitch. And
we had a technical snafu.
We don't look like your typical tech savvy people. Although I was thinking this earlier when I was in my basement trying to get this thing running. Like how many podcasts are done in this country with guys that look like us? It just looks like there's a hostage in the other room. It just looks like, you know.
There's nothing good's coming out of any of this.
No. Call somebody.
Instead of getting swatted, we get they come and do a welfare check on us. There's these two old men. I don't think they know what they're doing.
I think they're trapped in their basements.
We get a welfare check.
I think there's a silver alert and there's two old men missing. They're online asking for help.
There's a rest home that's missing a couple people.
Oh, so anyway, I was trying just, when we got cut off, and this makes me suspicious. And this is the other thing. We look like two guys that are very suspicious of our government.
We are.
So that I'm fascinated that you were in the Marine Corps, and
yes.
and you've become this Rodney Norman, which is a very fascinating person. You have your own philosophy and comedy and your own brand of everything. And I wondered what way did the Marine Corps forge you into the person that we currently see sitting in front of us?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. You understand, I didn't know anything about the Marine Corps or military. I mean, everything I knew about the Marine Corps was what I got from watching MASH.
Yeah, well, that's enough.
So I had no idea. I had an uncle who was in the Marine Corps, a great uncle, if you will, who was in World War II, was highly decorated, was a war hero, but his documents are sealed. You can't. It's all still considered top secret information. We have no idea what he got awarded for, and they still won't tell us. And then I had my direct uncle, my mother's.
He wasn't on a grassy knoll by any chance, was he?
No, not at all.
Okay,
he was in the Pacific. That's all they told us.
Sure he was.
He was in the Pacific. That's all they said.
He was nowhere near Texas.
So he died just after the war. He got killed in an accident. But then my other uncle, actual uncle, direct uncle, he was in Vietnam. And when I joined the Marine Corps, I went to visit him and ask him advice of going in the Marine Corps. And he says, "Well, the only advice I'd give you is don't."
Right.
And he goes, "Let me tell you this. When I was in Vietnam, I got shot in the butt. And that was the happiest day of my Marine Corps career because it meant I got to go home and then processed out." So he had a horrible experience, Right. So I didn't know anything. I joined because of the first Gulf War, and then it was done and over before the first week of my boot camp. The whole war lasted like 3 days.
Were you in boot camp and you're just like, that war is over in like 3 days, and you're like, so are we still going to? You were like, "Sir, Sergeant, Are we still going to do this?
Yeah, can I go home now?
Are we done?
Is it, well, it was funny because the day it started, they brought in all the TVs, which was a big deal.
Yeah.
And they were, they had the CNN thing going, here's the war. And they let us watch for a couple hours as it started. And then they gave us all this story that we're all going directly to war and that we should get our affairs in order because most of us are probably going to be dead before the end of the year.
Wow.
I mean, they were really playing it up. And then 3 days later, they said, okay, it's over.
Wow.
So it was kind of bizarre. And but no, it was funny because before I went into boot camp, they told me to watch a couple movies that gave you kind of an idea of what the Marine Corps was like. And so I watched a couple of just movies about the one with Clint Eastwood and what was the other one with Lee Emery? Anyway, so I went in. You go in thinking you're going to go through this tormentorous experience in boot camp, and they do. They yell and scream at you the whole time, and they convince you that you're a complete idiot and an imbecile, and that their job is to get you to quit and go home because you're a complete failure in life, and they're the reason you join the Marine Corps is you're not capable of taking care of yourself, and so you want the government to care for you because you're a complete idiot. Your family hates you. Everybody you've ever known thinks you're a loser and a failure. They think you're a failure and a loser. Your girlfriend's probably sleeping with your best friend right now, or she's turned lesbian because you're such a horrible individual. And then 8 weeks later, they take you to a rifle range and hand you a loaded weapon just to see what happens.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? But no, probably the biggest thing for me during boot camp was just trying to keep from laughing all the time.
Right.
It was so surreal, the whole thing. They're getting mad at you for doing worse. I remember one afternoon, we're in a squad base, so it's like it's like in the movies. It's all a bunch of racks, and we're all sleeping in one big room.
Yeah.
And they come in and they take all of our stuff and they're throwing it all over a foot locker. They're throwing it in this big pile. And, Joel starts to throw in a fit because we've done something terrible. Somebody accidentally stepped out of line while we were walking back from chow or something, some horrible
Right.
thing. And so they're throwing stuff all over the place. And then they would make us go and pick everything up, square everything away in a couple minutes. And if we didn't do it in enough time, they'd throw everything else back in there in a big, huge pile and make a huge mess. And it's the worst thing that's ever happened. They've never had a group of Marines, recruits that were this stupid, well, going on and on and on. And then they're walking up and down. And as they're walking past me, the drill instructor is yelling and screaming. And he says, I could do this all day. And I just get this little smirk on my face, right? And he sees it out of the corner of his eye. And he steps right up to me and he's like, Norman, you think that was funny? And I'm like, I'm holding back everything I can. And he goes, well, what do you think so funny? What do you think so funny? You want to say something to me? And I go, sir, these recruits had nothing else to do anyway, sir. I got bent, which is
and of course, then he's now going to find things for you to do.
He read me the rioted act, and I had me doing push-ups and sit-ups for Cal's eggs for a good hour. I mean, he was just wearing me out, but it was worth it because at least I got to move. Because a lot of times you're just standing around doing nothing. You're just sitting around waiting for something exciting to do. And so if you got in trouble, they get you up and make you exercise by yourself. And it's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm not, I'm not sitting down with my legs crossed on the hardwood on a ceramic floor. I can get up and move. Let's do this. All right, man. I can, so it was, but it was just so surreal. Just all the weird games they're playing with you, because the idea is they make it so stressful that you get to the point where when you're in a stressful situation, you don't freak out because you're just bored. You're just like, okay, whatever. and that's the idea. Is that
you just focus on whatever your job is. That's what you're doing.
Hey, this is what I need to get done. All this other crap that's going on isn't important. What's important is that I get what I do, the way I'm supposed to do it, because this is my part of the puzzle, and I need to make sure.
Yeah, everyone else is doing their part. I don't need to worry about that.
Right. And so you understand what's going on, but at the same time, it's really fun when you're there, just going through the idiocy of the whole situation. It's quite enjoyable, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it again.
No,
but it was fun while I was there.
Yeah. Well, I like that fact that, and this might we learn something about you, because many people would not be looking at the positive aspects of being forced to do calisthenics for an hour, and then maybe that mindset is what got you through. You're like, oh, good, I get to move around. A lot of people are like, oh no, I have to do sit-ups. And they don't think, well, actually, I'm 21 and I could do unlimited sit-ups. And what I can't do is sit still.
Yes. It's like, man.
But that ability to think outside of the box and to, look at a different angle, like, hey, you know what? Maybe this thing that people think is so horrible, it might be the best part of my day.
Yes. That's pretty much how it was. It's like, hey, wait a second. I get to make them laugh and then get to exercise. Hey, it's a win-win. Let's do that. I can do this all day. Let's bring it on, man.
Oh, that's great.
So it was fun.
So I don't know. There's so many things I want to ask you, but I don't know where to start. I know you've been. I just looked at your cheat sheet on your site, and you're back out in Utah again last week.
Oh, I was in. Let's see. Last weekend I was in Nevada. I was in Las Vegas.
Oh, that's right. How was Vegas?
Oh, it was great. Well, it was weird because the day I was there, they were having flash floods going on.
Oh, wow.
Stuff was getting canceled all over the place, and they had this warning saying, if you don't have any, unless you're evacuating to get away from danger, don't go anywhere.
Can I just say, in a flash flood in Vegas, your appearance is one that might make people think you have a large boat somewhere in the vicinity.
That's why I
you could have gone on with just like your bathrobe and a walking staff and, and held it up.
Put a robe and follow me if you want to live.
You could. Some people would have followed. They already do follow you, but you might,
follow me into the comedy club. That's your only salvation.
Laughter is your salvation.
Salvation is 2-drink minimum.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, it was fun. And then this week, I'm in Holland, Michigan right now.
No kidding.
We had a show last night. We just decided to spend an extra day just kind of chilling out because we didn't feel like driving again.
Oh, that's great.
We've been in Indiana for a couple nights, and then up here. Then next week, of course, we're in Maine, Sanford, Maine.
We're excited about that at the Smitty's cinemas, but they're set up at they do live comedy there once a month, and this month it's Rodney Norman. Spectacular.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And who else you got on the show? You usually got some other great comics on all your shows, man.
Yeah, we got we've been doing really well up there. So we got Stacy Kendrow, who has been doing comedy for 20 years. Very funny lady. If you haven't worked with her yet, it's surprising because we've all been working around a lot. But she started out in New England with me and with other Boston acts, and she lived in New York, I think, up until COVID, and then she migrated back into New England, as a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So Stacy's great, and let's see who else I got on there. Joe Flynn, who's awesome. You must know Joe Flynn. If you don't, you're gonna love him. Great, funny stuff. So that's gonna be a good show. That's gonna be a really good show.
Looking forward to it.
And they got good food there too. Like, one of the great things about that, and for the comedians too, you get a free meal out of them. But it's like regular Americana food, but you can get burgers or pizza or
the last time I was there, I remembered the food was really good.
Yeah, the wings, we're not even talking about the comedy show anymore, but the wings are really good. But you have this, if you have one of these, you got to leave enough time to try to get your beard back.
You learn to bring wet naps with you.
Yeah. I bet you
You got to
probably end
wax
up.
a little wax in the beard just so
I
things don't stick.
I now understand why the guys from vaudeville and the guys from all those old timers used to hang around backstage with their pants and their suit jacket on a hanger. Because they didn't want because they would eat at the hotel, and they didn't want to end up. And now, as an old guy, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to put that shirt on because I will have a food corsage on it. And you may run into a little bit of that with you got a little bit more.
Well, that's one thing I remember a comic told me was he always brought something else to wear, a little light jacket. If he ate, it would get on there instead. So I've done that, or do the napkin, do the.
Oh yeah.
But having the beard helps because it just gets caught in there, and then you just bring something to clean your beard.
Something to eat on the way home.
There you go.
Stored away.
Just a little snack. Oh, what's that? Oh, corn. Delicious. That's one thing I've noticed, having the long beard when you eat and you get it. Before, if I had hair in my food, it would like freak me out. It's like, oh crap, where'd this hair come from? Now I know exactly where it came from. You're just going to pull it back down.
Right.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to retitle this "All About Beards."
All about beards.
Yeah. Because I got to trim this off. Keep that from creeping.
See, I'm trying to grow the mustache out so I can do the big handlebar mustache.
Oh, that'd be nice, man.
When I portray Santa Claus, I'm one of Santa's helpers.
Now,
when Santa can't make a personal appearance, I'll fill in for him.
Now, the handlebar mustache I thought was a villainous look. Is Santa putting women on railroad tracks this year? Or?
Yeah, Santa, if you can get a handlebar, get a little curl going. that comes with a premium price, my friend. Real bearded Santa, and then if you got the handlebar mustache, boom.
Nice.
That's the prime Santa Claus beard.
Well, are you already getting your push? I know you got some of the best swag in the business. Are you already getting your Christmas push? Or are you putting together a Christmas line of?
We're working
Maniacs?
on. Well, yeah, we've got our new calendar that we're going to have out hopefully in the next few weeks. Those have been doing really well, and then we got a few T-shirt designs that we're putting together. So we got some new merch for this Christmas season. Yeah.
Or you could, in Ronnie's style, you could go oh. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, because you got to clean it up. You can't say ho 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 anymore.
No, and you could have Santa with stuck in the chimney or something. I don't know. I can't. You're more.
I don't know where you're going with it either. So
I don't know either. I realize that all the time when I start down a road.
Hey, look. Sometimes roads are dead ends. You know what I mean?
Sometimes they are. Sometimes you even run out of gas before you get to the end. You got to get out and walk the wrong way to the dead end. That's a long night.
Yes.
So, I asked you last time, like, where do we find Rodney Norman's flock? Because I bet everyone asks you about your TikTok following because it's gigantic. It's ginormous. I left the TikTok family.
You left the TikTok
family? I had one follower or two followers within the first day, and I felt that at least one of them was a Chinese spy. And not that I don't have any information that from the United States that would help them, but I felt like I was losing material to a tall Chinese comedian.
Yeah, probably not far from the truth on that. Yeah, the TikTok thing's been weird because it's gotten more commercial, so now it's just lots of ads.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's not quite what it used to be. It's more. Well, it's less. Excuse me. It's less teenagers dancing and more conspiracy theories and side hustles.
Okay.
That's.
Well,
At
I
least
like the
that's what my
conspiracies. I like the conspiracy theories, but I feel like a lot of them have come true. You used to be able to just dismiss all of them kind of arrogantly, but now
Yeah,
UFOs are real.
UFOs are real. Bigfoot's real.
Bigfoot. Yeah.
Um,
I have a theory about that too, by the way. I think whenever this administration gets in a little bit of trouble, they go, well, we'd like to answer that, but do you know they just cited UFOs over
Is UFO. Hey, guess
Seattle.
what? There's dragons in Canada. What?
Exactly.
It's let's
They
have
pull a
a
dragon out of the
Senate
cave.
hearing. Here's a whistleblower. Yes, I was with NASA and we spotted them from space.
You know, and the odd thing is people don't even seem to be like you would think there are beings from outer space on planet Earth, or at least at the minimum orbiting it. But they also say they crashed,
Yes.
which
Well, there was one report that like a senior guy at the Pentagon confirmed that they've been watching basically a mothership that's been sitting off out in space watching us for about 23 years now.
okay. So let's get into this because okay, so now my sources, which are not to be trusted, it means just cruising YouTube.
Oh, mine's all from TikTok. So.
Oh well, okay. So we're gonna go YouTube against TikTok now, and we'll see who's.
Yeah, we can draw Wikipedia into it too. Why not? Let's
Well,
go.
but I have to watch my information for more than 35 seconds. Mothership outside of our atmosphere. But one of the theories I saw was they said when we started experimenting with dropping is it nuclear or nuclear? It's nuclear, right?
Nuclear, yeah.
Ever since they started making fun of Bush for saying it, I was convinced that any way that I said it would. And that's one of the things that I think the aliens were trying to say to us. If you don't know how to say the word, you really shouldn't be using these.
Yeah. If the guy with his finger on the button is up there going nuclear.
Before I launch these missiles, is it nuclear or nuclear? Maybe you're not qualified to have that job.
Is it aluminium or is it aluminum? What are we going with this?
I love the aluminium one. Yeah. So anyway, if they're saying that they've been out since we started having these explosions and experiments around the world, because that whenever you have that kind of explosion, it rips a hole in the through dimensions.
Right.
And they're out there to make sure we don't fire anything out into the atmosphere like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've heard that the biggest problem is with CERN, with our accelerating particles, that every time they do that they're opening a wormhole into an alternative dimension.
I did see. So maybe TikTok's the way to go because I never heard about CERN. I thought it was
CERN is the biggest concern.
I thought that was a guy who had a morning show back in the 1990s. Howard CERN. There you
go. The CERN. Well, the whole Mandela effect.
Okay.
Is said to be caused by the activities at CERN. And if you look back at all of the, if you remember the Aztec calendar, they said that it was going to end in 2012 and that we were going to enter a new reality. Well, guess what happened in 2012? CERN discovered the God particle. How'd they discover the God particle? They smashed atoms together. What happens when you smash atoms together? You open up wormholes into alternative dimensions.
Oh.
So we've been living, that's what they're saying about 2012 is when everything really started going cattywampus, and why we have all these weird Mandela effects and
so just for
strangeness going on.
Explain the Mandela effect.
Well, it's
is that where you're in prison for 40 years and then you get out and the first thing on your list of things to do is to divorce your wife? Nelson Mandela
divorce your wife and put a lot of money into a rugby team.
Well played, sir.
That's how you.
Well played, sir.
That's how you bring it all together.
My hat is off to you, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So Mandela's effect is when you have like something that doesn't belong in your current reality popping up.
Yeah, like a lot of us just call it, bad memory. But the idea is that, well, there were people who were absolutely certain that Nelson Mandela died in prison. And the rest of us were like, no, he got out of prison, became the first uniting president of South Africa after apartheid,
Oh.
and went on. There Morgan Freeman played him in a movie, for crying out loud.
Seriously, that's where that term comes from?
Yeah, is that it's about people remembering in their memory was that Nelson Mandela had died in prison.
Oh,
And so that's why it's
I was
called the
joking,
Mandela
but I had
effect.
no idea that's actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what was started. And then
Oh, no
all these
kidding.
people started noticing other things, like the Berenstain Bears. People remembered it being the stain part being written with an A, Stain, and others remember it as Tein. So it's a different spelling. And the other one is Ed McMahon saying he was with Publishers Clearinghouse for many years, and others were like, no, he was never with Publishers Clearinghouse.
Wow.
And people are going back showing that,
So maybe I got to go on TikTok
different.
and find out some of this stuff that I'm missing.
Yeah, it's all out there. Well, if you just look at Mandela effect, there's all kinds of weird ones that keep popping up. There's one with the song "We Are the Queens." We will rock you. We are the champions, and they're saying that the song does not include, where he sings, "We are the champions of the world." It's only sang once in the song, and people are remembering it that it's saying "of the world" is mentioned several times. But when you go back and listen to the song, it's only in there once. So all these weird things. So it's all these weird things that you remember. Or the other one is Sinbad. People remember Sinbad being in this movie about being a genie, and people remember the storyline and everything. But the movie was never made. It was never happened. But people swear that they saw the movie, but nobody can provide proof that Sinbad was ever in a genie movie.
So they have a memory from like a different dimension.
Right, that's the idea. Is that
so somehow
CERN
that dimension has sent programming into their head from another.
Exactly, that's the idea.
And somewhere in another dimension, maybe they're remembering not having a genie movie.
Yes.
Wow. Or we don't know that. I mean, maybe it's just we don't know.
Well, yeah, we don't know. Or like I said, it could just be people have bad memories.
Is there any dimension where Jim McHugh has a good comedy career?
It's possible.
Well, let's slap some atoms together again. And
yes, we can start shooting some atoms together until we find that one. Let's dial into that one. Where's it? Can you please show me a reality where Jim and Rodney have careers? Woo!
Is there a dimension where we have good credit?
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Wow. All right. So what advice would you what's your sage advice for handling this multi-dimensional reality we have to go forward with now?
We're all making it up as we go through. So whatever you want to remember, you remember that and hold true. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
If we're all having different realities and then working it all out together, hey, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Makes life more exciting if we're all kind of on different pages.
I think people's memories are also can't be trusted, even if you take the Mandela thing out. They've had those experiments where they have a mock attack in a classroom, and then nobody can describe what the guy looks like.
Oh yeah.
Like minutes after, they come up with, if there's 30 students in the classroom, they'll have 18 different descriptions.
Oh yeah. Well,
of what happened, who was at fault, what the people looked like.
Yeah, there. I don't know if you've ever seen this. There's this one video. There's this experiment where they showed this video to a group of people, and they said, "Okay, there's it's like 10 people, and they're passing two balls between each other. One ball is like red, the other one is blue. And they're saying, okay, pay attention to how many times the red ball is passed between between each person. Every time it gets passed, that's one pass. So count how many times that red ball is passed. And so there's these 10 people are just kind of wandering around in no particular order, and they're passing these two balls between each other. And then at the end, they asked, well, how many passes were there? And they're saying, oh, I counted 19 or 17, 20, And then they said, okay, did you notice the gorilla? And it's like, if you watch the video yourself and you try to count how many times, you don't notice. There's somebody who walks through the middle of this whole thing in a gorilla suit, walks right through the middle, stands in the middle of the scene, and then walks out.
Wow.
And it's there almost the entire time. And nobody, because they're so much
focused on the ball,
focused on following the ball, they don't see the gorilla pass through at all. And then when you go back and watch it after trying to count the balls yourself, you go there and you watch it, and it's like, how did I miss this? It was right there.
Wow.
It was, and you just block it out. And this is part of what's I think is going on in society. That's why we have all these weird things that got us concerned and fighting over, because this way we're not paying attention to what's really going on.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of bread and circus too,
Oh, absolutely.
If we keep fighting each other, we're not worried about the people that are really making decisions that affect our lives,
Yeah. That's why when I see people start attacking each other over politics, I'm like, ugh, you guys are part of the problem.
Yeah, it's just it's small ball. It's like you're not,
Yeah.
If if everybody made a list about what the big problems are, a lot of the stuff we spend a lot of our time on wouldn't even make the list. Or shouldn't make the list.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you really look at all the things going on that they say are the biggest concerns, almost little to none of them actually you have no influence over regardless.
Right.
And most of them don't influence your life at all.
Right. You got to get your own. You got to get your own thing in order.
Yeah, that's why I love that Oliver Anthony song. Have you seen that thing?
I have.
I think that's beautiful, because he's just calling it all out, saying, look, all this garbage that's going on is, it is affecting us. And that's the stuff that's important. It's the stuff he's singing about. All this other crap doesn't matter.
Right.
But he's saying, look, all these things that you're doing to us trying to help, you're making it worse. And it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It is good. It's gotten everybody, and it was painted as a, like a one-sided thing, but I don't think it really was meant that way. I mean, he sure didn't try to capitalize on it. He was just like, I'm just,
Oh yeah, he shut it down. Everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, it's a right-wing anthem." He's like, "No,
it's just a song you wrote."
What are you talking? Yeah, it's like this is what the elites are doing to all of us, and you're all sitting here pissing and moaning at each other.
And I think he's genuinely not chasing an agent or a manager or a record deal, or he's passed on all that stuff.
Yeah, he's.
And I mean, A, he probably doesn't need them, but B, he seems to be just a guy who's trying to be a good guy,
Yeah, well, he went and was living out in the woods by himself in a trailer. He was just making music, just basically to keep himself from going crazy, and posting the videos just for the fun of it. And all of a sudden, one of them caught on, and he's got the top-selling song. He's making what was it? I think $40,000 a day is what he's clearing.
That's great.
And that's from a guy, who was living off I think $1,000 a month before all this happened.
Right. I saw something where he said he was living in a trailer with a tarp for a roof.
Yeah. Yeah, like a mobile, like a camp trailer.
Right.
Not even a real trailer house, but like an actual camper.
Right.
So yeah.
It's inspiring that someone can make something like that happen, that affect that kind of a change in their own life, you know, and how many other lives that he's touched, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Other people he's inspired, saying, "Hey, look, I can go do something with myself."
Yeah, and he talks
Why
about
not?
he talked about it, you know, his struggles with depression, and you know he's fought a lot of demons, if you will.
Oh yeah, yeah. Depression,
And,
anxiety, all that kind of stuff.
sure. Wow, that's great. Wow, we're very deep today, Rodney.
We're hitting all the buttons, man. Let's
That's
go.
cool.
Let's go. We're going on a deep dive, baby.
I always like working with you. We like catching up because you're just we go back a ways.
We do. You were one of the first guys I met when I moved to New England.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we did a gig in, what was it, Medford?
Yeah. Yeah.
You, me, and Jack. Yeah, I got to open for you and Jack.
Lynch, Gentleman Jack,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, I wanted to ask you too. And I know I'm sorry about this, but I'm fascinated. I'm a little envious of your travel, you know, and that always have a good, interesting travel story. And if you don't mind, I got to read some of these comments too. I haven't been paying attention. I'm sorry for the people that have been commenting. Let me go through some of those, and I'm going to ask you a travel story if you have a good nugget,
Okay.
a good discovery that you've had. Okay. Gary Bailey wants to know, what's your opinion on God? Okay.
God, I'm a big fan of the God person.
Me too.
I'm a Christian, you know, Jesus
Me
Christ,
too.
Lord and Savior. That's how I've always
me too.
felt, always been, and
We never talked about that.
you know, it's fun. I don't shy away from it, but at the same time, I don't want to. I hate to use the term "cast pearls before swine." That's not exactly how I feel, but you know, it's not something I want to put out there because you know, you come across as a comedian, people think you're just joking,
Right?
and so it's like I don't want to make I make fun of being a Christian. I make fun of growing up in the church, you know, and I tell people, you know, I'm a big thing. I'm a big fan of the whole heaven idea. I like heaven. I like
it.
God. I'm a fan of it, but more so, just knowing that there's a place that for eternity, certain people are going to feel the everlasting hells and fire of damnation.
I didn't think you were going that way.
That brings a lot of joy to my Christian heart.
I always want to say, like, you know, there's a everybody makes fun of Jehovah's Witnesses, and I don't think, I mean, it's easy to do, but there's a nice lady. I'm not sure that she was a Jehovah's Witness, but she came to my door and she rang the doorbell and she said, you know, have you heard the word about how much Jesus loves you? And I said, actually, I have, and thank you for coming here, because she's trying to save my soul. She's doing a very awkward and almost not embarrassing is not the right word, but it's a very stressful thing to go up to people's door. And I just thought, me being the kind of Christian I am, which is not the best kind of Christian by a long shot, I'd be like, bing bong. Hi, Rodney. Have you heard the good word about Jesus? And you go, get off my porch. I go, okay, Rodney Norman, straight to hell. Next door.
I mean, wipe my feet.
Okay with that. I tried.
Depths of hell.
Wake up and smell the sulfur, Rodney. And I know that's not the way you're supposed to think, but I know that's the way I would, because I'm a, you know, it takes me a while. Well, I got to simmer I'm not an instant forgiveness guy. It takes me a beat to get to that, you know.
That is, I've been a missionary. I've done the door knocking, and it's not hard to get into that. Well, good. I hope you burn in hell anyway, you horrible rotten monster. They don't want you in my church.
Wow. So look, I didn't realize you have a lot of
filthy animal. What's that?
Sunflower says, hey, y'all. Coffee Nut says, hello from the Poconos.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, everybody.
I think it's Jolynn says hi to Rodney and Jim. You all are awesome. We need more podcasters like you two. Wow. And that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about my podcasting.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, Gramps. I think that could be for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's plural. Ashley Laura Moore. Okay, I just have to apologize at this point because she only said hey. And Sunflower says blink twice and you're being held against your will. Rodney, how do you deal with new things in your life?
New thing, I love them. Weird, different, just, if you go through life thinking that everything is horrible, then guess what? Everything is horrible.
Yeah.
If you go through life thinking everything is fantastic and awesome and that new challenges bring new opportunities and adventure, then guess what? You welcome new possibilities and new adventures. And that's how I like to look at life, man. Look at just, you never know where it's going to go. Even the bad experiences often turn into good ones. You know?
Or at least you can usually find some lesson in it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, when you stop,
like you go next time,
good or bad to anything.
You go next time. I'll wear an oven mitt.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. That was horrible. Let's not do that again. All right. So it says, if God had a face, it's Rodney's. I think that's a follower there. I think you're gonna watch it now that you.
Well, you know what? I think we see God in everyone.
Oh, well played, sir. You've had to field that before in a truck stop somewhere.
Yes, I
in
have.
A very odd situation.
Well, it was a drive-through through a Popeyes. They were out of biscuits.
And I think we covered this already. Ted Williams says, "You're too. How old are you, and have you ever played Santa?" And I think that's for you. I think I can answer for you, but you answer.
Well, I am 54 years old, and yes, I've been playing Santa now for 5 years.
That's awesome.
Every winter. In fact, look it up. Santa Claus does stand up on at Dry Bar. It's on YouTube. You can see me doing Santa Claus, doing stand up.
Someone wants to know if the Marines had you watch Full Metal Jacket.
Yes, that was the one. That was the one
Okay.
they told me to watch before I went to boot camp.
I was an 8404 corpsman. Congratulations on being a Marine. It says, I know it reads corpsman, but I know that's not really
the
way to do that. Semper Fi, Rodney.
Hoorah.
MRE induced farts on benches alerting the enemy your location downwind.
That's one of my bits. That's a fan right there.
Wow. Did you meet Gomer in the Marines? He was a great singer. A lot of people know he was an opera level singer.
Yes,
right?
he was. He was a brilliant. Jim Neighbors. Yeah,
he's a kind of cool guy. Love your post. Thank you. Catch you later. I'm thinking cheese is in a beard's enemy.
Well,
a cheese is a beard's enemy. That's the statement.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you want to comment on that. Nothing like morning corn. Enjoy your life and stuff. You got some people. Norman Claus shirt. That's what's being recommended. Norman Claus. I like that.
Norman Claus.
Ouchie Jim. I'm not sure. I'm behind. I'm like so far behind. I apologize, people. I'm like a half hour behind. Dragons or drag queens, I think, is the people that were found from another dimension. If they have a mothership nearby, you can bet they are watching this live stream. Yeah, okay.
Absolutely. They're being entertained. They like good entertainment.
Welcome. Okay.
Welcome, our overlords.
We need to stop being skeptical and just choose to believe everything we read. That we will really freak the government out. That way, we'll really freak the government out because they will absolutely lose control and they have over us. Someone from Arizona, GA Arizona, says, I have your quotes and sayings all over my walls. That's a little scary. And then, Kurt Russell shows up and tries to blow them all up. I think that's a reference from the movie The Thing. Remember that?
The Thing. Yeah, The Thing.
That slimy.
Or Escape from New York. Isn't it?
You're right. You're right. New York too. Watch The Butterfly Effect. I'll be watching it. Big Jim. Hi, Jay Nicholas. You are the next Andrew Tate. I don't know who the first Andrew Tate was.
Well, it's Andrew Tate.
Okay, I'll have to look it up.
You know who Andrew Tate is?
No.
Well, so he was an MMA fighter, right?
Oh.
And then he started making money getting girls, setting up a bunch of girls as webcam girls.
Oh,
And so he made a lot of money. And then he started making videos about telling young men how to be successful in life. And so he got a huge following that way. And then, of course, he got political. And then he moved out of the United States to, I think it was Czechoslovakia. And there him and his brother got thrown in jail for, they said, human trafficking, but it was just, he just rubbed his webcam girls out of it. That's his big thing. He sells sex to a bunch of incels.
wow.
But yeah, check him out.
I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but
yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with that.
Poor Matthew Stetzker's my mind is blown. Okay, Schro. Now I apologize for my reading here. Schrodinger's cat is dead and alive. There is a version of you that sees it a love, and a version of you that sees it. I think it's supposed to say sees it alive, and a version that sees it dead.
Yeah.
So he's actually spelled sees it a love, which was a nice thought. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Man, I remember that's okay. This guy remembers the Sinbad Genie movie. Okay.
Yeah, there's people out there that do.
Do you remember where my 1978 Chevy Vega is parked? No.
Okay. It's behind the Dunkin' Donuts.
Sinbad had the dirt on the Clintons. That's why they canceled them. So they deleted the records of that movie, and then they had Bigfoot eat the script.
There you go.
Sometimes you go to the Rodney Norman followers and you get the answers you're looking for.
We've got them all. That's who I track. That's my people.
I don't know if I should read all these. I don't know the right etiquette here. First time seeing a commercial in a live stream. I don't know there was a commercial.
Oh, really? There's a lot. Wow.
Did we do a commercial?
Well, they'll just add them periodically.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Sometimes if your stream has enough people watching it, they'll start adding.
I watched those in college. See, should I move ahead to where we are now? Maybe.
You could do that.
So you say hello to the Mohawk Trail, Charlemont. Hello from Houston, John Jacoby.
Hello,
I am.
Houston.
The worst thing I'm doing is to people's names here. It was a spelling error. I was talking about current conversation where people had memories. Okay, PV. Sorry, I did catch that, and we are both corrected. So wow. Okay, let's move on to your travel story. And if somebody chats, I'll try to like not be a half hour behind. I'm a little bit of a rookie in this, so hopefully I'll get a little better. Vincent Morales Moen says, sending love from Sacramento, California, which is kind of close to a friend of mine, Matt. Okay.
A little Sacramento.
Yeah. Cool. So have you been to any last time you told me about a place that was really cool. It was like the world's largest town that looked like Fridays.
Oh yeah, it was the Walls Drugs.
Yeah, and so that is now on my bucket list of places to go. I got to find a gig near there.
It's bizarre. It was.
I love places like that. I love touristy places. I love zoos, which I know I probably shouldn't. I just love looking at the different creatures. And not only I'm not even talking about the animals. I'm talking about the people that are looking at the animals.
That's my favorite thing is people.
That's some of the best wildlife you're going to see in the zoo usually.
Yes.
And so have you been to any have you discovered any new travel spots?
Yeah, we were in Jackrabbit, Arizona.
No kidding.
It's literally just a gift shop in the middle of nowhere. It's not even a gas station. It's just this big gift shop. They got a big Facebook following. And all it is it's literally a gift shop in the middle of nowhere, just off the interstate in Arizona. And they have a big, rabbit and some old cars to look at. But you go in and it's just, t-shirts and shot glasses. And, it's one of those places where you can get a scorpion as a lollipop.
Oh, it's okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. There was no reason at all for it to exist, and but I loved it.
In the
And,
future, Rodney, if you had to give me a couple picks of places where you and Mrs. Norman settled down and had a comedy / gift shop, what kind of places can you see yourself having a little gift shop somewhere with a little?
a gift shop somewhere.
Yeah, I can see you doing something like that. Bring the people
Probably.
to you.
Yeah, that would be fun, like a Branson.
Yeah, I've always, as a comedian, I've always been like, man, I would love to just find a place where I could stay home and ride my bike to to a place
Oh yeah,
where
just
perform every night, and the
walk up
audience
and- yeah.
changes. Like I always say, we got to travel a lot because we can't go door to door with what we do. We have to go to where the people are.
Yeah, we have to keep moving around. At some point in time, you get famous enough where they all come to you. That'd be awesome. Like Yakov Smirnoff did that in Branson for the longest time.
Genius.
And I've noticed he's starting to get on social media more. I think he's trying to
Well,
bump up his numbers.
He's a Russian bot that's actually running.
Probably.
I don't know.
Well, it was funny because
what a country! I've infiltrated it.
What a country! What a country! I asked, please share with me all your secrets, and they did. What a country! What a country!
Okay, I got more for you, brother.
Okay,
are you able to see these too? The chat box?
Some of them.
Steve,
I got to put my.
Steve is asking. My main concern is CERN.com. With an N. Get it? When I'm in other states, New England, well, it's a little different. I remember the Mandela effect in Massachusetts. Okay.
Okay. That was.
There you go.
I think that was a cryptid message. Is what that. Was.
Can't. What I'm finding, Rodney, is I can't remember things in any dimension.
Yeah,
it's the McHugh effect.
Yeah, we're at that age where everything's new to us.
I walk into a room, I have no reason why I'm there. I just stand there.
Well, you remember back in the day.
They drove the atoms together. That's why I don't know where I am.
Yeah, you remember back in the day with Blockbuster. It's like the big thing was trying to find a movie you hadn't seen yet. Well, we're at the age now where we can watch everything over again.
Watch everything over again.
Any of it. It's like I'm pretty sure I saw this movie. I don't remember who was in it. Rodney, what jobs did you have growing up?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good question. Let's see. I was a scout camp counselor. I had one summer where I got this job through the school district, and so I worked at a golf course, cleaning stuff up and mowing lawns. I've been a janitor. I've had several cooking jobs because my mother and my grandmother taught me how to cook when I was young, really young. So I knew how to follow recipes. So when I was like 12 or 14, about 13, 14, I got this summer job making lunches for the school summer program.
Your beard was much smaller back then.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was. I had to pencil it in back then. But it was a really cool job because I got the job because my grandmother's friend ran the program. And so my first day in there, she'd like, do you know how to follow a recipe? And I'm like, yeah. So she handed me this recipe. And so I started making food. And so she just made me a regular chef, cook at 14. And then I did the same thing when I went to college. They made me a cook when I was just supposed to be a prep person.
Wow.
So I've done that. So when I built bridges, been a carpenter. I worked for an airport in Texas. That was fun. Got to bring in the planes. I was one of those guys that would bring the plane in. That was fun. But so what I'm saying is I've done nothing of any consequence.
I always say that I make fun of people's jobs for a living, and I'm making fun of people that have skills that I could not do. My skill is to mock those that are better than me.
Oh yeah,
I think that's
I love it
clearly
when I love watching your videos. You run into somebody who's like an actual rocket scientist,
Right. You know what that is akin to? It's akin to the lab monkey making fun of the scientist,
Yeah.
making faces at him. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's going,
Yeah.
sure, sure. Now, which button
Yeah.
do you want to hit for the pellet?
Yeah. I'm mocking you for your $500,000 salary, where I'm
Right.
this job where I'm getting paid $150 and a free sandwich.
Right. Yeah. You're launching, rockets, and I've got a slingshot in my basement. And a boomerang I don't know how to operate, by the way. That's so. I've also done a lot of jobs. I think that's good for comedy. You got to. It's all about
Gotta have some- yeah,
it's
gotta
the
have some
flavor
life
of life. You
experience.
got to go out and you got to do different things and try different things and
gotta
fail
get out
and
there
be
and get
successful and.
Yeah, you got to go get your hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Get some calluses going.
All right. Well, what do you think we put? I say we put a cap on this thing. We can see you coming up in Maine at Smitty's. Where do we look for you on the internet so we can more closely follow your schedule?
Well, RodneyNorman.com is a good place to start. Just Google Rodney Norman. Nothing to be disparaged against the other Rodney Normans, but I'm the most famous one. It's just I'm not bragging; it just happened to be the case.
In this dimension.
In this dimension, you type in Rodney Norman. Who pops up first? It's me.
Nice.
It's me. You're going to see me. I'm that guy.
It's horrible if you so, this has happened to other people I've known. Like they're a comedian and there's like a sex offender with the same name. So like I'm not that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Or they got the same name as a 70s pop star.
Right.
Yeah, I got a friend whose name is Andy Gold.
Ooh.
And there was an Andrew Gold who was very famous during the 70s. Let's see, what was the song he sang? Now I can't think of it. Anyway, what I'm saying is that other people have it harder than I do. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of people that really want to claim the name Rodney Norman.
I think it's a great name for comedy too. So RodneyNorman.com, and you can find all the other places to find you from that hub. Yeah,
I'm on all the social medias that matter.
I'm on JimMcHugh.com, but I don't know that I always upkeep everything the way I should. This is a good time for me to learn about that. I keep all my dates up there and stuff. But I really thank you for being on the podcast again, and I think we just created a new another podcast about weirdness.
I'm all for it. Let's do it. Let's just get together once a week and talk about the weirdest things we can find on the internet.
I love that. I like anything. Just, it's always fun just having a conversation with you, my friend.
I appreciate it, man.
All right. So look up RodneyNorman.com. I'm Jim McHugh. Thank you, folks, for tuning in. And I'll put this up somewhere. All right. Thanks.
Okay, bye.